I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been doing. It relates to drama very specifically, looking at students' verbal responses and their feedback, and looking at exam preparation for the new GCSE specification. So the first thing that I did was at the beginning of the year, I asked the students, I've chosen Year 9 as an example, but I did it with Year 7s and we did it with Year 8. And what we asked them to do was almost like a mini theatre review, because it's part of the GCSE exam. So what we asked them to do was to think about what the story was about, and for Year 9 it was a trailer, and particularly on Women in Black, based around the kind of scaring of the audience, which is what they were doing in lesson, and kind of getting them to think about how they created the atmosphere, what kind of props and staging was used, and how the girl used her voice at the start, and sound effects and things, and asked them to kind of evaluate throughout. We had some really good responses, and what was really nice was in their kind of feedback. So this is one of the kind of better responses, I suppose, from Year 9, and then she's answered the questions in red, and then so even a very low ability student who's kind of on the foundation even had a go, even with some of those kind of more high ability type of questions, and even had a go at adding in some extra detail in red. So actually it's a really good tool that we found that actually does help the students in terms of their feedback. So I've got some of those if you guys want to have a look at those. And then I've experimented with some questions that are included in the new GCSE drama portfolio. So at the moment they do 30% written coursework, but as of September of this year, so with the current Year 9 cohort, they're changing that. So there's a 40% exam. Part of that exam is to write a theatre review, so that's why we did that preparation. And then the other part is the advising unit, where they have to answer a number of questions. So the questions for the GCSE are slightly more sophisticated, so they use words like stimulus, and although we have started to use that type of language with Key Stage 3, they do still like, what is that? What's a stimulus? And things like, you know, genre and structure are quite difficult for them to get their heads around at the moment. So what I've done is I've created a Key Stage 3 set of questions that very much link to the GCSE questions, but it's a lot more attainable for Year 7, 8 and 9. And what I've asked them to do at the end of each half term is to have a go at answering those 5 questions on every single performance that they do. And what's great about the new criteria is that they're allowed to not only write it if they want to, but they're allowed to record it. So for the GCSE, they're allowed to write 1,500 to 2,000 words, or 5 minutes verbally. Now, of course, the difference being at Key Stage 4, they have to do 5 minutes per person. So a group of, say, 4 or 5 would be a performance of 20, 25 minutes. Well, at Key Stage 3, we're lucky if we get a minute or 2, because of the time constraints and the fact that we have one lesson a fortnight with them. So the amount they write is a lot less. But I have got a couple of examples of some of the verbal responses from students so far that have had a go at recording it for their homework. So this is Francisco in Year 8, who is an EAL student.
What do you plan to do? First I plan to create an evil scene where an evil guy wanted to defeat the hero, and then the hero didn't get defeated and he got princess. Yeah. Then how did your group explore the task and develop your ideas? We did it quite well because we changed a little bit. We decided to make it, instead of the villain trying to defeat the hero, he took the princess to a castle, and then the hero still defeated the villain. Then, how did you rehearse your work? We rehearsed it quite well. I think we could have done a little bit more developing. Yeah. How much did you contribute to the performance? I think quite a little bit, because I got an idea first and I told them, yeah. Were you successful in what you set out to achieve? Yeah, I think so, because we kind of changed my ideas a little bit and it worked quite well.
So that's Francisco, who's the AL. So even though he maybe struggles slightly with the delivery of the lines, actually what he's done is he's got all of the main things included, and now the next step is to include more keywords within his evaluation. But the fact that he obviously feels more comfortable to record it than write it, I think is a real asset that we're allowed to use. Now this is a slightly higher ability student.
Laugh very easily, so it goes through the hall. This happened, but I kidnapped the wrong person, and their performance was actually really good, except I fluffed it. We didn't really go very far from what he said, and then he lost marks for lack of originality. We rehearsed a lot and fine-tuned our work. It would have been amazing if I hadn't taken the wrong person, because they actually fitted their roles well. I feel like I put a lot into the performance, but I also was a bit bossy about it all. Overall, we looked good, but once again, we could have been a lot better if I didn't mess up.
So again, kind of Seth there used a lot more kind of keywords in terms of originality, and was talking in a bit more detail about the kind of things that he could include to improve his work. Something that I'm going to do to extend this is to start using those questions in lessons a little bit more, and recording students, maybe doing verbal responses and videoing them, because what we do is we have these little flip cameras that are really great. You just record them and then stick memory stick straight in the back of the computer and can upload it instantly. And so if you were in a classroom, you could, or in any situation within school presentations, you can watch them instantly back. So I mean, that's something that could be used in any classroom if you're getting students to give feedback and then remember what that feedback is for following lessons to improve their work. That's what I've been doing in my kind of coaching trio.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's good.